What's up, Silas here. I was taking a walk. Just came from Nairobi doing this other video I have in this series of This Is. Back there is somebody walking cows. I'm taking a walk with his cows. There's a place back there that cattle kind of just stay in. Some fences got opened and these tribes people, I think they're Maasai tribesmen, but they just happen to have some cattle and they graze them around. But the guy has a little stick and he hits the cattle and it gives them the discipline. It kind of organizes where they move and things like that. And earlier on today, I was just thinking about something. I was thinking about how people deal with kids, how kids learn, how you'll teach a kid a word, you'll say different words to him over and over again. The kid will hear different words, see different things, hear accents or different things and start picking up these things. And then all of a sudden, one day that kid will wake up. That kid could have heard this word for 500 times, and then on the 500th and first time he knows that word. That word becomes what they define that thing as. They've heard bottle, they've heard bottle, they've heard bottle, and then all of a sudden they see a bottle and now they know that's a bottle. That becomes a concept. It becomes something they can communicate with, and it's something that sticks with them for the rest of their life. Now they know this is a bottle. If I need a bottle, that's what I want. I don't just cry, I don't just point, I don't just gesticulate. I know exactly what I want and I ask for it. And then later on in life, if they want a bottle, it comes back from that first time they finally understood what a bottle was. Now who knows how many of those 500 needed to be actually had for them to actually understand what bottle is. Some things people pick up really fast. Some things even a kid might pick up on the first time they meet it, or they interact with it, or the first time they're exposed to it. Now with that's why I'm talking about with this Hands Up Don't Hit series, you have to be really concerned and aware that with kids, they're always watching you. You never know the first interaction they see with you and your spouse, you and another adult, you and a child, you and them. You don't know what that interaction is going to do to define who they are, who their person are. I mean, that first interaction, that's actually going to make them define what that way to relate to other human beings is. You never know when it's going to be. And with some of these things, they can be very strong formative points of the foundation of this person, who this person becomes in the future. So you have a situation where you might think, oh, I'm just a little frustrated, I'm just maybe yelling at the kid once or twice, or I'm yelling at somebody else, or I pick up my phone, I behave in this way. When I'm talking to somebody in the grocery store, this is how I'm talking to that person. And this is around kids, let alone, I mean your kids of course, but let alone other people's kids. They're constantly looking around and seeing this is how we interact with the world. So I think it's very important to keep that in mind, not just when you're hitting kids, either people who do hit kids, or if you see somebody else hitting a kid, or if you're around somebody else who's hitting kids. Even if you're not hitting your kid, if your kid is exposed to other people hitting kids, if they're watching things online, it's very important for you to actually know what your kids are experiencing, because we never know when that thing clicks in their mind and they might define the rest of their life with that. And part of the reason I was thinking about that while walking out here is because I've traveled around a lot, and when you're traveling around, there's different places I get to know, and I'm not really too good with names of people and places. I think I'm pretty decent at the concept of knowing like the area, kind of being like a mental map of it. But how long does it take for you to make a mental map of where you are in life, the landmarks and things like that? And I think that's kind of how it is when you're a kid and you're learning about life and learning about interactions, and you make landmarks. There's some landmark decisions that define how you get around with the rest of life. Yeah. So that's it for now. And this is Silas. Like, share, and subscribe. Talk to you later. There's going to be a link below to the... not a link below, but it's going to be a link at the end of this video to the rest of the series of the Hands Up Don't Hit series. And there's also going to be a link below to the merchandise store where I have some shirts related to the Hands Up Don't Hit thing. And I'm going to try to do some more organized thing with this whole series of things later. But yeah, let me know what you think. When was some of the things, if you've had a kid, when was the first time you thought that, oh wow, I can't believe they know this concept now, and I can't believe they know this word now? Or do you remember some of your earlier words or things like that? Okay, goodbye.